Hey, it's your girl Be Real, and I thank you so much for joining me for another moment. In the meantime, I pray that your day has gotten off to an amazing start, and if it hasn't, trust that I'm joining my faith with yours that today will be amazing. Yeah, I just been thinking lately about pursuing the hand of God versus the face of God. It was kind of a thought that began yesterday while I was at church, and how we often want what we want from God. We go to Him about the things that we need, which is absolutely what we should do. But there are some times where we maybe rely or base our relationship with Him solely on what He can give us or what He is able to do for us, instead of sometimes just simply enjoying who He is to us, or enjoying the relationship that we have with Him. I was thinking about it, and I began to just kind of imagine being in a relationship with someone, and like if I only wanted to see their hand versus their face, like literally, like think of like whoever your crush is, or somebody, maybe it's a celebrity or somebody you like in a relationship with for real, like, and you just consider, like, if every time you guys were together you would only hold their hand but not look at their face, how much of that relationship would then be weird? Or like, how much of the relationship would you be forfeiting by not really looking at their face, or not ever looking at their face, but more so just I'm gonna just look at your hand, I'm gonna just hold your hand, but I'm never gonna look at your face? Like, we would rob ourselves of seeing in their eyes how much they love us. We would rob ourselves of seeing them smile when we do something. We would just rob ourselves of seeing how attentive they are when we speak. When we forsake to like look at their face, it would just be a weird relationship, like it would literally be creepy, and so I was just thinking about that in terms of the Father. And is it the same way? Like, do we do our relationship with Him the same way when we go to Him like, God, do this, God, I need this, God, do this, I need this, do this, I need this, but we never look in His face? Like, we never sit with Him face to face and have discussions with Him. We never sit down face to face with Him and just allow Him to take in how we feel, or just take in His heart for us by just like seeing us the way He sees us, and really listening to the things that He has to say. Like, I really hope this makes sense, but it's just the way God was showing it to me, that like most times when we just, God, I need you to do this, God, I'm desperate for this, I really need this to happen, I really like it. That is literally just like, because sometimes we get like, desperation is real. I ain't gonna act like it's not. But when we only pursue His hand and what He can do and what He can give, I think it makes the desperation even worse. It makes us like a sick desperation, because when we just pursue His hand, it's always just like, well, maybe He'll give it, or maybe He'll do it, or perhaps He wants to. But I'm thinking, like, if we would look at His face, and when I say look at His face, just think about His nature. Think about what He cares about. Think about how He loves us. Think about how He chooses us. Think about how His heart for us is so pure and gentle. And I believe that if we will begin to look at His face versus His hand, then the things that we need from Him, we wouldn't be as desperate and fearful when we ask, or because we're looking at His face, we just know that, like, now His nature is to provide. His nature is to protect us. His nature is to heal us, because we can see His face. And I just feel like when you see His face versus always looking at His hand and always just, God, give me this, God, do this, but just sit with Him and say, God, I think you're amazing. You're a really great healer. You are an awesome provider. And I just believe that we'll begin to see our relationship deepen with the Father if we can not focus so much on his hand and more so on his face. We always talk on Mondays about how we're not afraid of Mondays and how, the same Lord of the weekend is the Lord of the weekday. And I think that we can do a better job of believing that if we recognize that his face don't change. You know what I'm saying? Like if we realize like that his nature for us, his heart for us is just really good, and it's really pure, and he has good thoughts. Like he thinks great thoughts towards us, and we are in his plans. He has made a plan, and I just feel like what gives us anxiety on most Mondays is just like knowing, okay, we back in the cycle. Like, okay, God, I need you to, my job stinks. I need you to, blah. Or God, this bill still ain't paid. God, you know what I'm saying? Like, it seems like on the weekend, you just get to relax your mind a little bit. But on the weekday, it's just like, all right, back to it. Like, back to the stress, back to the drama, back to this, back to what I don't like, back to this uncomfortable spot. And it's just like, but what if we just decide to keep looking at his face and not his hand? Then I believe that even our Mondays would be better. Even our weekdays would be more, I don't want to say more better because that is so wrong, but I just think that would be greater, if we just actually recognize the fact that his face is so beautiful. And because we even have access to sit with him face to face and talk to him and tell him our heart, then we're like, it's a good thing. And once you can sit with him and talk to him and just sit with him, like one-on-one, sit with the Father face to face, I believe we'll just realize that his desire is always to give us the things that we need, and even some of our desires, but today's challenge is to not necessarily look at his hand today, but to look at his face. And it's a challenge for me too, because I need some stuff out of his hand, like it's a real thing. Like we need his hand, but I believe that his face is so much more amazing than only looking at his hand. Like we're just forfeiting the fullness of our relationship with the Father by limiting the love we have for him for his hand. I really hope that makes sense, guys. If it don't, we'll try again tomorrow. But my prayer is that somebody caught it the way God gave it to me. So happy Monday, guys. We're going to see what the day brings. I'm believing God to do amazing things today. I'm believing God for life-changing testimonies. I'm believing God for him to do the impossible. I'm believing him for the most. And, my faith is joining with you all. And I just believe that God is going to do something amazing today. If you have not followed me on Instagram, go ahead and do that now at B.REEL. Don't put REAL, because if you do, you ain't gonna find me there. So follow me now on Instagram at B.REEL. If you have not pre-ordered my new book, go ahead and do that now. It's on Amazon.com. You can search my name, Brittany Real, or you can search In the Meantime. You'll see the book cover is for pre-order for $2.99. It's a blue book cover with a little yellow flower, so that's gonna be me. Go ahead and pre-order it now. I'm very excited that the book is listed in 3 categories as a bestseller. And so that's beyond my wildest imagination. And so that's how I know that God he's moving and he's doing things. He's doing incredible things. So let's just believe God today, guys. That's what it is today. Remember that you are loved, you are chosen, you're beautiful, you are enough. And I love you. So I'll talk to you guys tomorrow. Bye.